Hello and welcome back to Dyson Sphere Program. I can't exactly remember where we left off at the end of the last episode, so I'll just point out the fact that we've got these thrusters building here, and they output onto this path here, which then goes up here and over here. We've got the steel has been rerouted. Remember, it used to just come down the side here. I've routed it this way. It now comes along here, and goes past these machines and then down the side. This thing is not producing what's supposed to be on this belt. Yeah, this belt is for yellow chips that go up there to make our little drones. So now we can set up a planetary network stuff if we want to. And I was going to do that for the launching of the solar sails, and then so we can get more power. But looking at the power grid, I mean, at the moment we're only using 25 watts of 75. Now, we're not sciencing right now, so I think it might be interesting to set up the next bit of science we need, and then do research with it, and then we can see what our energy needs are and go from there. So what was the next bit of science? I believe we have invented it. It's yellow cubes. Right, to make yellow cubes we need diamonds and titanium crystals. So diamonds we can just make out of graphite, so we just need a coal deposit, and that's relatively simple, and that is also made in a smelting facility. And for titanium crystals we need these, well, we need titanium, which I can manually bring from the other planet for the moment. The first thing I think we're going to research with this is interstellar logistics. This lets us get a vessel that can go planet to planet. Once we've got that, then we can start tapping everything that this solar system has to offer and bringing the stuff here. So, organic crystals. It looks like there's two different recipes. One of them is just water and trees and logs, so we could make a few that way, but we have to manually collect leaves and logs, so we're not going to really do that. So we want to do it this way. We just need one to make one titanium crystal. So water's easy enough, we just need pumps. We need refined oil and plastic. And plastic gets made from graphite and refined oil. Okay, so what we need is some oil and coal, preferably not too far away from our science centre, which is here. Now, obviously, we do have the crude oil production that's going into here. And there was some oil we didn't tap. So we've got 2 crude oils there. 128, 1.12. Got another one there. Actually, there's a nice cluster here. I'm seeing some 4 very fast oil centers and 2 coal veins. One there and one there. So can we get that? I wish I could sort of move in map mode. And then if it's too far to belt the science, or belt the products to where the science is coming from, well, we've got the planetary logistics system. There we go. So we've got a good coal vein there, an even bigger one there, and 1, 2, 3 oil seeps. One at 1.8, 1.7, and a 1.5. Oh, and a 2 back there as well. So we tap all 4 of those oils, and then we work out... that one's a little further away. Right, I'm going to tap all those oils, and then we're going to have to do some math and work out how many refineries we need, because we need to turn it into refined oil. I put down the 4 oil refineries, and they get 7.22 oil per second. Looking at the recipe for refined oil, it says we need 2 every 4 seconds. So the first thing we can do is we can times this by 4, because that's how much we've got in a 4-second period, and then divide by 2. So 14.44. If we get 14 machines, we could go for 15, and then and then we'll have too much. But if we go for 14 machines, we should be able to process all the oil which comes out of those ones. So what we'll do is I'll put 7 on each side. 1, 2. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep, 7. And obviously it's going to output refined oil and hydrogen. Now, I don't think I want this hydrogen, like, at all. Oh no, I did that wrong. Next. It's the belt up. I don't need to do that every... I don't need to do that often, do I? Save myself some belts. So that one can do those 2. And we'll just have the last one there. So what I'm wondering that I can do is, seeing as I don't want the hydrogen, can I burn it off fast enough? Because we have these thermal plants which can burn hydrogen, and presumably it burns hydrogen just at hydrogen. Doesn't show it as a component. So what I'm hoping, and we can see how this goes, is if I get thermal plants.
A thermal power station. Such power facilities need to consume chemical energy fuels. If you want it to generate continuous and stable power, you need to ensure a sufficient fuel supply at all times.
Right, we'll just fill that in. I'm just going to put an array of these power stations here. Might be too many, but the idea is that then we can just be grabbing hydrogen straight off that belt. So if I grab this thing, put it there, and then click on it, I can set a filter. Hydrogen. 8 megajoules of energy. Doesn't say how long it will take to burn. Right, so that's now only going to grab the hydrogen. Shift copy. And it should copy the bum. I meant to copy that. So I just wanted to make that a little bit longer. Huh. That did not copy the... That did not copy the filter. The XU. That has the filter. You can see there, it's got the symbol. Shift copy. It doesn't copy the filter. It does when you're coming out of a machine, which is interesting. Or at least it used to. Right, so set filter hydrogen. And that will hopefully be enough. And then you can feed from machine to machine. Right, so I need to do that on both sides, and hopefully then I will be processing all the oil and getting rid of the hydrogen. Slight snag, I should have noticed that the grid does like a transition here, where the verticals no longer line up. It means that I can't actually get out of here. So I can either spread those further apart, or would I be able to keep up if I did that? Just because I don't want to have to move them. The problem with getting so close to the North Pole is it starts to narrow more and more. I'm going to see whether or not that's a viable tactic. So I had to pop back to the mall to get some more stuff, especially more of the thermal generators. But I've got most of the rest of it set up, so let's stretch some long distance power. We should see things start to come to life. So what I've done here is I've taken what should hopefully just be refined oil. Let's stop flying. What should hopefully just be refined oil through a splitter, and it has a filter that puts any hydrogen that is left, one into these tanks and two over to here, which is where there's going to be a little bit more of the burning. Shift copy. I had to spread these out a little bit more because of the shape of the planet. It's going to be a question of whether or not the grabby thing can do that angle. But it looks like it can. Right, power. You can see we've got some of that flowing. If we pop this here, we should get a power connection through those things. Oh good, and I can squeeze a power pole in these places. Wasn't sure that was going to work. It's not going to work on this side, but I've got a bit more room. So I think I'll be okay. These powered, and this one. So it's possible we're never going to get enough hydrogen to need to fuel those ones. Oh, I'm not grabbing here yet. I suppose it's not going to hurt if I... Okay, there we go. Once there's already stuff on the belt, it lets you select the filter. That is really clever. There we go. So, because there was a little bit of hydrogen was flowing this way. Hopefully that won't happen now. Okay, so on this side, I'm watching these thermal plants to see which ones have fuel and which ones don't, because it should be a fairly steady supply of hydrogen. Okay, so our generation capacity has gone up now to 123 megawatts because of all this stuff, which is nice, and the oil is piling up. They are all spinning, but there shouldn't be much oil building up on the end of the line. As I said, 15 would have been overkill, 14 not quite enough. Right, so now we're down to just one of those saying no fuel, and one of them there. We can keep an eye on this tank. If this tank starts building up with hydrogen, I mean, it would start to block there, wouldn't it? What I might want to do is take the output of these things and actually sort of make them go up. Actually, I'm going to get rid of this. I want to see if we go off and we do other stuff and leave it all, will any hydrogen ever end up in there? I'm hoping not. But it's energy. Right, so why was I doing this? Oh yes, I was trying to make yellow science. And the yellow science needed titanium crystals, which needed organic crystals, which we were going to make using plastic. So plastic is refined oil and graphite. But we're also going to need some refined oil for that. Balancing this is going to be interesting. So we need one refined oil and 2 plastics for each one of them. And each plastic takes 2 refined oil. So this is 4 refined oil every 6 seconds. This is half the speed of the... Oh god, my brain cannot do this. Because if we use too much oil to make plastic, we won't have enough left to make this stuff. Okay, I'm actually going to try and work this out. Okie dokie, I think I've got this figured out. I sort of started from first principles. A refinery in 4 seconds will give 2 oil. So every second it gives half an oil. I have 14 refineries, therefore I have 7 oil per second. Organic crystals, which you can see... okay, this is the recipe for plastic. Anyway, in 6 seconds you get 1 crystal. And in the making of that 1 crystal you need 2 plastic, 1 oil and 1 water. So every second you get 0.1666 recurring crystals. That's a sixth of a crystal. And you need 1/3 of a plastic, 1/6 of an oil, and a sixth of water. Plastic. In 3 seconds you get 1 plastic, and in those 3 seconds you need 2 oil and 1 graphite. So every second you need... so every second you will get a third of a plastic, and you need 2/3 of an oil and 1/3 of a graphite. Now, so total oil demand every second. You need the stuff for the crystal maker itself and the stuff for the plastic. So 1/4 of the demand is going to go to the crystal making, and 3/4 of the demand is on the plastic. That's the ratio between these. Because if you add them up, they come to that. So that's 3/4 of the total, that's 1/4 of the total. So of the 7 oil per second, 1/4 of it has to go to organic crystals. So 1.75 is going to go to the organic crystals, and that's enough for 10.5 machines making organic crystals. And 5.25 of my oil is going to go to make the plastic, and that's enough for 7.88 machines. I'll round these numbers up, so we'll have 11 organic crystal makers and 8 plastic makers, and then we're just going to supply it with as much graphite as it needs, and water, because that's easy. I hope my maths on that is right. I did sort of consider looking for a Factorio calculator online, but I couldn't really find one straight away that I liked the look of, and I just figured I'd work through it on my own. So, how are we doing back in the game? This has been running for quite a while, and we are building up hydrogen. So, now that could be because our power demand isn't that high, so we're not burning the hydrogen as fast as we possibly could. Yeah, because our consumption demand is really low. But I'll think of something to do with that hydrogen before this fills up. How are we doing on oil? Bottom one is almost full. So going back to that thing, we need 8 machines making plastic. Oh, no, cancel. 8 machines making plastic. Plastic is made in a chemical facility, which I think is those chemical plants. So I want 8 of them, and I want it close enough to this coal that it can use it. So I'll put 8 here. You can make the oil go round behind it. Okay, this is going to be quite long. Let's bring you to that line there. So I could consider putting the others on the other side. You guys are going to hopefully make us plastic. But oil's going to run to there. And we'll output the plastic. All the way in. Yes, we'll output the plastic there. Right, so it's going to need graphite. I'm just going to make as much graphite as I can, because I know that I'm going to need I need graphite for the other half of this recipe. Remember, this is all to make this, and so far we're only working on the titanium crystals. These things need graphite as well. So I want to maximize the output of each of these. So there's 42 veins here, so I should get 22 coal a second. Meaning I can get 22 graphite a second out of 22 machines. So that's what I'm going to make. As I was building this, it did occur to me that even though we can make 21 graphite a second, our belts can only carry 12 items per second. The level 3 belts can go for 30 per second. So this might be the time to add level 3 belts to the mall and upgrade this. But we'll do that after we've got what we currently have up and running. So I need to power these up. Hopefully that's complete coverage. It's also like these belts are not fast enough to... Oh, there's no power over there. These belts are not fast enough to actually take all the coal either. So yeah, so we need to upgrade this stuff. But that gets us the graphite we need. So I'm just wondering how I'm going to route this. I suppose I'll put it into a splitter somewhere. Changed my mind. I think I want to line it up with here because this is where it's going to be needed. So we'll put you there, but we're going to change you to be one of the ones with a raised output. This one doesn't need it. That will be the graphite you need. And come out of there, go down. Perfect. That's the graphite you need. I need mech to walk closer. Right. Gravel oil. You only output plastic, so I don't have to filter. And then you're going to grab graphite as well. That should be all you need. We should start to get plastic. Plastic. Can't tell because it just looks like a grey thing. But it's got plastic. Hopefully one of the updates they will do soon is actually add graphics to all of the outputs. And it would be better if it wasn't just a box with a picture on it. I mean, I understand, you know, it's work in progress and all that. Okay, so we're starting to use up our oil, which is good. We are definitely storing hydrogen, so might need to up the burners. Right, can we get organic crystals by the end of the episode? How many have we decided? We wanted 11 machines making organic crystals. You are made in a chemical facility. 11 chemical facilities. You need the plastic, and then you're also going to want oil and water. 11. Oh, that stretches so far. Well, it wants to end up over there, doesn't it, eventually? I mean, yes, I'm going to have a planetary logistics system, but if it doesn't have as far to go, then that is good. Also, this is where the graphite has ended up. So I am thinking, fill that in. And we put 11, but we put them this. Too many branchy things. Oh, I think we do need to put 11 of these like this. Do you want the plastic? Continue the plastic that way. Double check the recipe. It is made in a chemical facility and it wants plastic, oil and water. Well, there's plastic. Get the water from there. So we're going to have a row of 11 of those, like that. It can grab the graphite it needs from there, and output is organic crystals on that line. Have to be careful when we get to here because there's a change in the grid pattern. And we'll put the water pumps over here. What do you mean needs foundation support? Oh, I had you the wrong way around. Right, so there's a water pump. Gathering speed, 55 a minute, so not quite 1 a second. How much water do I need? 1/6 of a water per machine. We're getting 11 machines, so 2. I think I just need 2 water pumps. Can you do that, and then run along there. The mech gets stuck on buildings. It's a little annoying. It would be good if it would do an automatic hop or something. Right, so I will get 11 of those along there, and hopefully we'll start having our organic crystals. I've got that all laid out there, stretching over the horizon. I just need to power it up. So grabs the water, grabs the plastic, grabs the graphite, dumps there. And I should be able to hopefully slip my power poles in here. If I do them every 2, I think that's enough. Are we actually manufacturing? Or did I screw something up? I got the recipe completely wrong, didn't I? Oh no! It doesn't need graphite. Dagnammit. It needs oil. Of course it does. It's the next process which is going to need that. Okay. What's my inventory looking like? Yeah, there's no way I can pick up all this graphite. Luckily these grabbers are smart and they don't stick in stuff that it doesn't actually want. Okay, I've got some titanium on me, because I know that I'm going to need that for the next process. So, let me get a storage box. Let me throw some stuff in. I just don't want to waste all that graphite. Okay. X. Shift. No. I want the belt there. I just need to pick up the graphite. If I go to the end and hold down the mouse button, I can grab it all. Didn't double check the recipe. It's so easy to get confused. Right, I want this oil. Once it's been past the plastic, the excess will go here. And because hopefully I've worked out the ratios correctly, it should work. There should, you know, always be enough. So if you go there, and then down, you should be able to duck under the graphite, and that will get us the oil we need. There we go. Right, now we can put the power down. Right, anything blinking and complaining? Is there an animation that shows you these things are running? Yes. Oh, look at that. You actually get to see little chemical containers fill up. So these look like they're all happily organicing, crystalling away. Right. That's it for this episode. In between episodes, I am going to add the hyperfast belts to them all, so we can replace the stuff back there making the graphite. So we can at least output the maximum amount of graphite, at least to that first splitter. And maybe even to the second splitter, because then there should be... we should have lessened the amount of graphite enough that the belts can cope with it. So I need to... well, graphene, blue engines, and we're already making the level 2s, obviously. So I will add this to them all, and I will see you in the next episode, when hopefully we will finish making our yellow science, because we will be making diamonds. Diamonds are easy, just graphite, which is why we need all this graphite. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye. Addendum. This just worked out so well that I just wanted to show you. So I was looking where to put the level 3 belt production. I noticed that I had graphene here, the blue engines there, and obviously the level 2 belts there. And because the magnetic rings, because the turbine engines had gone up so high in order to end up over there, I was able to just snake the graphene in a little backwards line, which just goes to there, get the level 2 belts up and over, and grab the magnetic turbines from there. So we're making these nice and quick. So at the beginning of the next episode, we'll be able to upgrade the graphite production, and then make the diamonds and the yellow science.